My favorite scene in Fantastic Mr. Fox, and probably one of my favorite scenes of all time, is 1 minute and 20 seconds, including one shot and two characters. It has little to no plot relevance, and yet manages to captivate me like few scenes ever do. The scene starts off with Christopherson, Ash's cousin who's staying at their house as a guest, asking Ash a question. Ash responds negatively, very negatively. In his response, we see his insecurities about Christopherson. He refuses to let him feel important or valid because in everything Christopherson does, he seems to do better than Ash. Like earlier in the film, when Christopherson does a perfect dive into the water, and at another point in the film where Christopherson stands out at Whack-Pat despite it being his first time playing.
Divide that by 9, please.
He resents Christopherson because Christopherson seems to be better than Ash at everything he prides himself on, mainly his athleticism. When Christopherson tries to de-escalate the argument, Ash responds by trying to belittle him. Ash makes Christopherson feel like he has done something wrong, telling him,
I've had it up to here with the sad house guest routine.
After this, he turns off the lights. This last part was the least engaging part of the scene in my opinion, but also a very interesting part. To me, this segment of the scene represents the real world, or the cynical part of it. It's coming home from school and feeling like you've taken a beating. It's sobering, and it just kills the mind. It kills your soul. You feel as if in the heat of it all, you don't matter. Which leads to our next part, when the lights go out. This is when I really start to notice the song in the background, Buckeye Jim, being sung by Burl Ives. Buckeye Jim is a simple song. It's a children's song, but used in this context, the song becomes a last hold, a security blanket per se, some last remnant of childhood illusion to hold on to in a cold, dark world. As the song plays, Christopherson lays down on the ground and tries to get comfortable in an uncomfortable position. And as the pain of his situation sets in, he cries. He cries because there is no love for him here. He does everything he can, but there is nothing he can do. He cries, perhaps because his dad is dealing with double pneumonia off screen and a mother is never mentioned. And it's in this moment of seeing human suffering, of honesty, that Ash finally, for a little bit, puts aside his insecurities and does something. Ash puts down his comic book, climbs down the ladder, looks at Christopherson under the train set, and turns on the train. All the while, only the sounds of Christopherson crying and Burl Ives singing are playing. The train turns on, its miniature lights along with it, and begins to move. Christopherson stops crying. The train goes around the track. Christopherson looks at it. The train circles, and the two boys watch it without comment. The scene cuts. Why is the scene in the movie? Why do I like it so much, one might ask. Well, it's because of the last 5 seconds. It's because of what is said, very simply, in one shot with two characters. For me, this scene is about the experience of living. The way the boys watch the train is such a simple action, but seems to have the nuance of a lifetime on its back. It's the process of watching the train for them that brings them some sort of enjoyment. And as a viewer, it's not exactly a happy scene. It might be viewed as sad or comedic or even boring by some. The train doesn't end the world. The train doesn't do much of anything really when it comes to the world. The movie still goes on. The train is quite literally match cut to a bigger train in the next shot, proving my point in a way. The train doesn't save them. They find themselves in the same predicament when they wake up the next morning. But it's that little memory, that brief levity, that I think about all too often. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a movie about acceptance, accepting who you are, accepting your place in society. It's a film about not having a perfect ending, but not necessarily a bad one either. It's about all the times we get a middle-of-the-line ending. It's a film that seems so simple on the surface, but even now, 10 watches in, still keeps me thinking. It's a film of profound simplicity, and I think this scene embodies that perfectly. Besides the main substance of the scene, the amount of detail packed into every corner of this one shot is stunning. Ash reading a white cape comic book while also having posters of him on his wall, the fan running, the planets on the wall, and the helicopter hanging on his bed, just to name a few details. I won't try to say these things have any particular meaning. Wes Anderson just probably put them there because he thought they looked right there. Even the things I have assigned meaning to already are probably just Wes Anderson doing his thing instinctually, but you know what? They mean something to me, and that's important. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.